I have worked with all of you to be absolutely sure that we have all the pieces in place to be the most respected and the most influential voice for farmers in our state. We have worked together throughout the years to improve net farm income. We're not there, but we've worked to improve net farm income, and we've worked to improve the quality of life for North Carolinians. It has been my goal from day one. It has been my goal from day one that when the leaders of business and industry, the leaders of education, manufacturing tycoons, the leaders in tourism, and all the other sectors of our economy meet to discuss the future of our great state, that agriculture has to be seated at that table as an equal and working partner. North Carolina agriculture and our rural communities need Farm Bureau now as much as they did when we were chartered in 1936. I would say probably even more so. In looking back on my tenure as president, we've had legislative and public policy successes that we can be proud of. I'm proud of all the farm bills that we've successfully passed, the initiation of the tobacco buyout program, the North Carolina Farm Acts that we've passed, the preservation of the present use value taxation program, and you know I could go on and on. But there is still, ladies and gentlemen, much work left to be done. You heard me say last year that 2018 was the best of times and it was the worst of times. It was some of the worst times for North Carolina agriculture. Many of our farmers, many of you, are still in recovery mode, as the commissioner said, from the successive years of weather disasters. Most all of our farmers in this state have been faced with some difficult decisions due to a lack of profitability, from failure to make a crop, trade issues, low commodity prices, escalating cost of production, nuisance lawsuits that are impacting our livestock operations, and labor shortages. No one can deny that our farmers are faced with significant challenges. Agriculture, ladies and gentlemen, is also taking hits in our legal system. And listen to me just a second. It is not enough anymore, Farm Bureau members, for us as an organization just to pass legislation that helps our farmers. We are facing some significant legal action where we have been asked to defend in the courts legislation that we asked the General Assembly to enact. You know, legal representation is expensive. This process is expensive, and we've asked for your help through the North Carolina Farm Bureau Legal Foundation. In 2019, you, our counties, have given almost $180,000 to our legal foundation. Give yourselves a hand for that, ladies and gentlemen. "32 counties have given a total of almost $70,000 in my honor, and I'm genuinely touched and grateful for your contribution to this much-needed cause. Just this weekend here at this convention, our State Young Farmers and Rancher Committee, and I didn't bring it with me this morning, handed me a packet with $570 in 10s, 20s, 5s, 50, $570 in cash that they had taken up to go to our legal foundation. Now, you and I know that that'll pay for about an hour of some of these legal costs, but certainly I appreciate it. At some point, though, in these legal cases, we're going to have to ask ourselves, do we have the appetite and do we have the financial resources to continue being engaged in prolonged litigation? This is a serious question, and the answer to that is still to be determined. You know, as we talk about the future, we all know that tough times don't last, but tough people do. We have to move forward as an industry, we have to move forward as an organization, and we will move forward. Our state and our nation depends upon the viable and a vibrant agriculture industry. I firmly believe with all my heart that the demographics of our state can change, the issues will change, our government can change, but the Farm Bureau culture, our culture as an organization of being rational, pragmatic, and fair thinking has not and should not change, and I hope never will change. Our statewide general farm organization is in a position to continue working on behalf of our farmers, ladies and gentlemen, for years to come. We're strong. And that kind of reputation that you've heard people talk about this morning, it's not about Larry Wooten, it's about us. It's about all of us working together. That kind of reputation, that kind of strength, that kind of longevity doesn't happen by accident. You know, I thank this morning our board of directors, and I've worked with some great members of our state board and county boards all over the state, but I particularly thank our state board of directors for their steady hand of leadership and adhering to that culture that has made us who we are as an organization in this great state and in this nation. You know, for the last 20 years, I've delivered an annual report to this convention to our membership of our organization. And as this is my last report as president of the North Carolina Farm Bureau, I have been carefully reflecting back and carefully reflecting not on what we as an organization have accomplished in the last 12 months. We've accomplished much. We've had some failures, and not so much even on what we can look forward to going forward into 2020. I've been thinking about, ladies and gentlemen, what makes Farm Bureau, what makes our organization the most trusted voice for agriculture, and what it will take for us to remain that trusted voice for generations to come. First and foremost, I believe that we must stay true to our mission. True to our mission. All of us know and recognize that we are living in dynamic, some would even say turbulent times. I think we all agree on that. There are many divisive issues being discussed now, sometimes more of those divisive issues than there are issues that we can all agree upon. Socially, politically, and economically, the fabric of our state and our country is changing before our eyes. Some of the most controversial topics of discussion today surround social issues like abortion, gender identity, the definition of marriage, immigration policy, on and on and on. These issues are important. They're important to all of us. And we all have our own individual convictions about what we believe is right. But Farm Bureau members, if we are to maintain the effectiveness and the respect of our voice for farmers, we should continue to focus on issues impacting agriculture and rural North Carolina. The success of our legislative program in Raleigh and in Washington will depend on us remaining nonpartisan in the midst of a highly polarized political arena. Our staff that works every day in the legislature and the Congress does not care if you're a D or an R. We work for the Ag Party, and that means working with both sides of the aisle. And we will need that middle-of-the-road strategy as we push forward and as we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, and push our legislative and public policy agenda forward. Secondly, I believe we must maintain the structure of our organization. This structure, investing, cultivating, and maintaining strong county farm bureaus. I was so proud of all of it, what happened last night. The beauty and the strength of our organization lies in you, our volunteer leadership of those county farm bureaus all across this great state. You know, the older I get, a word that I like and use probably more than I should, someone would say, is I like the word relevant. Relevant. And what keeps this organization relevant, ladies and gentlemen, is how our policy and how our direction come from the people, come from you, people that know agriculture and who have lived it every day. All of you know that from a business standpoint, the structure of Farm Bureau is very unique. I tell folks all the time, there's ways to do things, and then there's the Farm Bureau way. And over the years, we have not been afraid to change our corporate structure to ensure that the North Carolina Farm Bureau flag covers all of our 13, 14 affiliated corporations that we have that brand over. All of our corporations in all of our 100 counties. My mantra as president over the last 20 years have been, we are, and this I believe is what has made us successful and what will continue, we are one Farm Bureau with one mission. Through all of our entities working together as a team, Farm Bureau has remained financially strong, and we've been able to do the work that we are charged with fulfilling. We have also experienced unprecedented membership growth. In January, this coming January in Austin, Texas, at the American Farm Bureau Convention, we will report 577,425 members. And when you multiply that number, ladies and gentlemen, times 2.5 people per membership, because you're a family membership, we touch pretty close to 1.5 million people in the great state of North Carolina. Pretty directly, over 10% of the population of this state under the Farm Bureau brand. We're the second largest Farm Bureau in the nation, and I predict that in 2021, in San Diego, California, at the American Farm Bureau Annual Meeting, we will report close to 600,000 members. I believe that. We will only be the second state in the history of the American Farm Bureau to reach that number. North Carolina Farm Bureau has been recognized twice, once in 2016 and again this year, 2019, as a Pinnacle Award winner by the American Farm Bureau. Achieving this kind of distinction, ladies and gentlemen, would not be possible, and it will not happen again without all facets of the Farm Bureau team, the Farm Bureau community, working together to promote that Farm Bureau brand that we all fly under. Whether it's the Farm Bureau Federation, whether it's our insurance companies, our Ag in the Classroom program, our PAC, all of our programs, Farm Bureau brand should represent excellence, and it should represent service to Farm Bureau members. We must continue to invest in leadership training and development. Our core mission is, and since 1936 has been, legislative advocacy for farmers. I've always said that a close second to that is what we do for leadership development. As I said last night, I am a proud product of the Young Farmer and Ranchers program, as are many of you in this audience this morning. Your county farm bureaus, and our state board of directors have made and continue to make considerable investments each year in our collegiate young farmer programs, our Young Farmer and Ranchers program, our Women's Leadership program, the LEAD program, the EIFEL program. We all invest in scholarships and EIFEL, and we're not just spending money just to spend money. Investing in leadership development programs, ladies and gentlemen, you know, is an investment in the future of our organization, and it's an investment in the future of leadership in North Carolina. Not just in agriculture, but an investment in leadership in this state. Through these programs, we have been able to successfully grow our own leaders, and we must continue to do that. I believe in the strength and the quality of our programs, and I believe in the next generation of leaders in this organization. I know that the future of Farm Bureau is going to depend on our bench strength, and I use this quite often. It's going to depend on our bench strength as much as who is playing on the field now. We must continue, ladies and gentlemen, to foster and protect the great working relationships and collaborations that we enjoy with government agencies like our great Department of Agriculture, commodity groups, other nonprofits in this state, and we're doing that. We have something special here in North Carolina. Our college deans, the commissioner will tell you that. I've traveled across this country, ladies and gentlemen, and few states enjoy the close working relationship that our state's commodity groups, our land grant institutions, Department of Agriculture, Farm Bureau, and other ag groups share here. We are proud at Farm Bureau of those relationships and that collaboration. But Farm Bureau, we must never be afraid to go alone if necessary to protect the best interests of our members. Finally, I would say to you this morning in this annual report that we must maintain and retain a strong, competent, professional staff. You, our members, I believe this with all my heart, you, our members, deserve the very best people working for you and for representing you. Let me say that again. You deserve it. You deserve, our farmers, you volunteers deserve the very best that we can hire working for you and representing you. Our staff, I know this, I've seen it, has grown stronger and stronger over the years. And I would say today to you that we have the best state Farm Bureau staff in the United States. And I've been across this country and seen other state staffs. As issues become more complex and our organization continues to evolve, we will need to maintain and recruit staff members who are highly trained, who are knowledgeable, and who are committed to our Farm Bureau culture of integrity. Without integrity, you don't have anything. Ladies and gentlemen, Farm Bureau members, one of my biggest joys in this job has been working with this group of professionals, a fine group of professionals. I thank all of our staff members this morning, from Peter Daniel, our officers, Perry Crutchfield, Jake Parker, our public policy staff, our field staff. I thank them for the professional way they conduct themselves. I thank them for caring for you, and I thank them for that determined spirit to do a good job that they bring to work with them every day. They represent you, and they represent North Carolina Farm Bureau in an exceptional manner. I would ask all of our Farm Bureau staff who are in the room if you would just step out and let these members thank you for what you do. Let's do that. At this point in time, if you allow me to take a moment of personal privilege, I'm going to ask my wife, Laura, to come up here beside me. She just found out about this morning. So. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I've mentioned several things this morning and talked quite a bit about Farm Bureau's culture, our culture of being rational folks, our pragmatic action, our fairness, we're fair, and certainly our integrity. But Farm Bureau members, I would be remiss this morning if I did not mention another part of Farm Bureau's culture, and that includes love and friendship and family. I've felt those. And I want to thank you this morning. I want to thank you this morning for embracing my family over the years as president. Both my brothers are here this morning. I don't think any of my children are here. They're all busy, but certainly thank my brothers for being here. But I want to thank you for embracing my family. I particularly want to thank my wife, Laura, 46 years of marriage, for steadfastly walking with me, as she is this morning, and being beside me every step of this journey, this Farm Bureau journey that I've been taking. We are grateful, she and I are grateful for the love and the friendships that we have formed over the years as a part of our Farm Bureau journey, and that will continue. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, Farm Bureau members from all across North Carolina, I believe with all my heart that the best days of this organization are still ahead of it. And the need for this organization, the need for your support, the need for your caring is still there. Serving as your president has been a labor of love for me. It's been a labor of love for me, born out of a great love and a great passion for Farm Bureau and for North Carolina. I will always be grateful. I tell you this morning, I will always be grateful for this opportunity, and I look forward to continuing to support Farm Bureau, to support our state's great farmers and our rural communities and people all over this state for years and years to come. Thank you so very much. I love all of you.